Hi there guys, it's Rick here and welcome to Rick's Guitar School. Today we have scales and arpeggios class, and in particular I'm going to be focusing our attention on the melodic minor scale. I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the scale itself, then I'm going to talk about some ways in which I incorporate it into my playing. I'm going to show you some really simple ways of doing that so that you can get cracking with using it within your improvisations. First off though, I want to give you a heads up on my website www.rick-graham.co.uk. I'll put a link in the description box below where you can click it and you can subscribe to my website and get free access to HD guitar lessons and a load of other stuff, so make sure you do that. Also check out the HD lessons store of my website where there is purchasable HD video lesson content also, so please check that out. Okay, let's get cracking with today's lesson, the melodic minor scale. There's a number of different ways that we can look at the melodic minor scale. And two of the most common ways of doing it is by viewing the scale as a major scale with a flattened third, or a Dorian mode with a major seventh in it. So let's take a look at the major approach to it, the first approach that I talked about. So if we take, let's do it in the key of G, and we play a G major scale. All we need to do is flatten the third degree and we have a melodic minor scale. Okay, that's a really useful way of looking at it. There's another way that you can look at it as well, and that is you can view it as being exactly the same as a Dorian mode, with the exception of the seventh degree. Rather than a flat seven, we get a major seven. So here's G Dorian mode. If we just take that seventh and raise it, we get this. Okay, with specific reference to this lesson, we're going to look at the second approach. So I want you to start looking at the melodic minor scale as from a Dorian perspective, and there's a reason why. The majority of the time, especially with rock players who are really into improvising and they want to look for some kind of outside sounds, this is a great way of doing that. And it's a really simple way of doing it as well, because there's only one note difference between, in this case, G melodic minor and G Dorian mode. And as I said before, it's that seventh degree. So if you incorporate that seventh degree into your soloing, it can create a lot of tension and can sound great if you use it in the right way as well. I tend to use it in my improvising all the time, and I don't particularly limit myself to using it in one context, i.e. over like a minor major 9 type chord, which is a melodic minor chord. I just use it over basic minor 7th chords. So if, for instance, I had a G minor 7, I would play a G melodic minor over that. But what I probably wouldn't do is spend all of the time playing the melodic minor. I'll change between Dorian mode and then just infer the melodic minor scale by popping that 7th degree in here and there. And I find that's a really great way to use this scale, particularly if you're just starting out using this particular scale. A lot of guys get a bit caught up in thinking that it's something really complex, but it really isn't. It's very simple. And using it in this way, anytime you come across a minor 7 chord, it's a really easy way to incorporate it into your playing more, to start using it more without thinking in terms of melodic minor. I always think in terms of Dorian and then just alter that 7th degree. So let us give you the formula for that scale. I'll give you the shape starting from the low E string. So we're at the 3rd fret of the bottom E string, a G note. And this is number 1, so this is our root. Then we have a 2nd, flat 3, 4, 5, regular 6, or I should say major 6th, then a major 7th. So our formula is 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. it's got a really sort of mysterious sound to it, and I find it works really well just over a regular minor 7 chord. So you can just experiment with when you incorporate that 7th degree. What I find as well is, like I said before, I won't play the scale the whole time for the duration of a track. For instance, let's say you've got a static groove going, I wouldn't play it the whole time because it can get a little bit predictable if you do that. So it's nice to just infer it every now and again, maybe in the 4th bar. Every 4th bar is what I mean, and then you can take it back to Dorian. That tends to work really well. So what I'll do generally is I'll think of G Dorian, so that's generally how I play the scale. One thing that I don't usually do though, because a lot of guitarists tend to get stuck within the 3 note per string way of playing scales, and when you start getting into stuff like melodic minor, learning it in as 3 note per string scales, nothing wrong with that at all. But what I like to do specifically with these kind of sounding scales is really just think about, I mean, I've done a video on this, but just thinking about the intervallic nature of the scale, because then you can really target the notes that you want. So I generally don't think about shapes that much when I'm playing this. So I'll generally think more intervallically when I'm doing this kind of playing. These days I tend to do more of that anyway, but as I said in the previous video, I use both. The other thing is, when you're playing this scale, that 7th degree really infers a 5 chord against a minor 7 chord. So this is what I mean. Here's G minor 7. And this note here, even though it's just one note on its own, infers a 5 chord against the G as a root. So a good thing is to take the 5 chord, the dominant chord here, based on D, so a D chord, and then you can start incorporating that as an arpeggio, just a triad arpeggio. So over our G minor 7, that works really well. So, and that gives you the 7th degree of the melodic minor scale. Okay. So I would start improvising with this straight away. If you've got any backing tracks with minor 7 grooves on it, all you have to do is just go to the scale that you already know, because you already know Dorian mode. Well, hopefully you do. And all you've got to do is alter one note. It's really simple to do if you have the right mindset. You don't have to learn a whole new load of shapes or anything like that. Take what you already know and then just literally alter that 7th degree, and hey presto, there you have it, melodic minor scale. I'm going to be talking about a whole load of other stuff regarding the melodic minor scale in coming lessons, but I hope you've enjoyed this introduction, a brief introduction to the melodic minor scale. There's a lot of possibilities with this scale, so there's a ton of stuff that we're going to be taking a look at. So just a quick reminder, make sure you head onto my website by clicking the description box below. Subscribe to my website for great HD guitar lessons, plus as well as loads of other stuff. And I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I will catch you guys for the next one very soon. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.